You know, it's like there's something so crazy about what you do, Tabe, is that especially like with Bidi Bidi, anyone's legend, and also like with RNG, it just seems like you come into a team and there seems to be like a magic touch. I want to ask, like when you join a team, when you start to coach a team, what are the foundations? What are the things that you think are the most important in your view of the game to teach to the players?
I think as a coach in LPL, the most important thing that you have to do, the first thing is you need the team to trust you. It is including not only the managerial roles, the boss, your manager, but the most important thing is the players. Like for example, the new patch, right? Tomorrow, the first stand, we knew that the ambassador nerf, right? And
Mhm.
the nerf of ambassador E. For
Yeah.
example, in my opinion, I think this champion is still OP.
Yes.
My opinion. So if I tell my players, okay, if I tell Flandro, I said, I think this champion is still OP, and I will tell Tarzan, this champion, Kanavi plays very well. He can, when we play against TS, maybe they can swap. If I pick Renekton against 369 Ambessa,
Yep.
maybe they will change Kanavi to jungle Ambessa and they pick
Yeah.
Nar against
Nar.
Renekton.
Yeah.
Yeah. So first, this is a situation, right? This is a dialogue of talking with the players. You have to make sure that the players trust you. If you are not a good coach, or maybe not that professional, the players will just say, "Oh, you just bullshit. You don't know the lanes." Maybe they said, Ambassador can't jungle at all. Okay, okay, you prove me. You play one game Ambassador in front of me. You know what I mean. Because you have
This is why
been,
you need to play jungle. This is why you need to play jungle
yeah,
and Bessa. So next time this happens, you just play jungle and Bessa. You
uh,
show them the best performance of their life.
yeah. This is the most important factor because every day we have to spend like about 12 to 14 hours in the training room, right? You have a lot of discussions, a lot of chat with the players to keep them be motivated and to prevent them being too emotional. And at the same time, you have to be as professional as much as the players. So it is a very difficult task. And I learned it not from the start. I learned it years by years by years, and even now I am still learning because I have coached with a lot of players, right? Different players have different personality and different achievements. So till now I am still learning.
Yeah.
Would you say you are more let's say spontaneous in how you do things, or is there a specific structure to how you like to do practice and how you like to do reviews?
I think for me it is very tangible. It is very elasticity, like
Okay.
this. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
elastic for me because different teams have different problems, and different teams have their different advantage and disadvantage too. So every time I joined a team, I will prevent them to encounter the disadvantage again, and I will prevent them to have that mistakes, and I will try to like pull up their advantage. For example, if our for I can give an example. If my team is good at support and jungle coordination, I know they are good at it, right? Then I will tell them, now I need you to be the number one in LPL. And if they have a very bad bot lane, I will tell them, now I need to be at least the playoff level of bot lane, and slowly to pull up the entire level. Do you
Mhm.
understand? Yeah. So
Do
it
you
is
have?
very
I was
uh,
just gonna ask. When it comes to situations like this, um, as a coach, like, do you have an area that you find yourself normally indexing in? Like, is there something that you consider to be your strength as a coach? Because when I've seen a lot of different coaches throughout my time, it always feels like coaches have one thing that they are mainly focused on. They are either like really good at drafting, or they have really good idea of like map movements, or they really understand Drake setups or stuff like this. Like, do you have an area that you think that you are like the best at, or do you just kind of do everything when it comes to coaching?
this is a very good question. I think for me as a coach, like every scrims, after the scrims, we will say something about the players. You can be better about this time this area, right? And
Mhm.
in Chinese, we said this is 复盘, like refill, scrim refill. And
Mhm.
just now you said the map, the dragon, the lane, this is all included in refill.
Yeah.
I think maybe my refill is not that good. Maybe I would grade my refill like A. Like the 50 points is like okay, is like C. I mean
Mhm.
like A. But my strength, I think myself, is the communication with players. It is, for me, it is very easy. I can say the word easy to talk with even the S level players like Bin, maybe like Knight. I never coach him, but I'm a good friend with him in the real world.
Mhm.
Yeah. Uh,
Do you tell him
maybe
that it's time to retire since he's 24 years old? You tell him it's, hey, I retired at
no
20.
no.
Oh, okay, never mind. Just
Now it
checking.
is. I think it is completely wrong because Faker already told us he can play till 30 years old, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And every day I tell the same thing to my players too. Like
Yeah.
if really Faker retire, then you guys maybe can try to retire. But if Faker continue, yeah. But if Faker plays until 40 years old, then you guys have to play till 40 years old. Yeah.
Okay. You better hope
I-
the Faker doesn't retire this year. If he retires this year,
Yeah.
then you have no team.
Yeah. I think I keep on saying the topic just now. The most important thing is, other than communication, is the inspiration and creativity, being a coach. Back to the days, just now I said I really enjoyed playing the scrims with C9 in 2023 because I remember very significantly. Why? Because we swap them, sweep. How to say? We win them very easily.
Yeah. You
For
swept
like
them.
five, we swapped them like 5 games, and the last game, suddenly one of the players said, "Okay, we are in real mode. We just finished eating sushi." And I was laughing. I said, "What?" Then after the game, they tell us the Scion. They play the Scion and enter our jungle.
Yeah.
And after that, after the games, after that game, we like GG in like 5 minutes. We can't play at all. And at that time, I gathered my players, and all of them, they didn't play. They didn't put much attention. They said, "Oh, we just lose one game and we won 5 games. It's okay." But
Mhm.
in my point of view, I think this is very critical. And I will gather my players and I stop doing stuff, stop watching the Twitch, or stop playing your mobile phone, and just get behind me. And we look at the games that C9 play.
Yeah.
And every second I said, okay, we can play better. How to say? I can motivate. Is it change it, be better?
Improve?
Yeah, improve. We can. The C9 tactic is very good, but we can improve this time of the game. And
Mhm.
we learned about like 3 days, and we successfully used this tactic against T1.
T1. Yeah, and you guys beat
Yeah.
them with it. So that was the
Yeah.
So that's where you guys got the, like, you guys really improved on the Scion cheese, was from play against C9. So for people that
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
know, the strategy that Tabe is talking about here is, this was before lane swaps. No one actually did lane swaps, but essentially what teams would do is they would force invade with Scion, full bot side, and then the Scion would 4-man dive bot lane. The Scion would die for it. Enemy bot lane would die. Then he would TP back top. Scion would be behind, but enemy bot lane would be unplayable, and the game would just like essentially boom based off that. So yeah, it's interesting to hear that was that you guys got so good at it, and you guys were able to take so much value from playing against a team like C9. And I think that kind of shows what your value as a coach is, because a lot of times I think it's very easy to like not want to review those games. Like I think not every coach would be so inspired by that to actually sit there and reverse engineer the Scion cheese. But I think it makes sense, because if your players are so much better and you guys actually end up losing a game like that, it must mean that the strategy is good, right? Like the strategy must be the thing that is carrying them to make up the difference between the players. So I like the idea there.
And to furthermore, to say about this, like NIP, right? Till now, you
The
can
lane
always
swap.
see, you can see Shanji, he plays the Udyr, and level 1 he just ghost, and use the R, the strengthen R, and
Yeah, double R.
the game we played against NIP, right? Our bot lane didn't notice that Udyr was at top. Yeah, and some of these things are most of the time I think being a good coach, you have to notice about this, and you have to tell the players some small techniques can make a big difference.
I wanted to ask more about the communication point, because you said that one of your strengths is like talking with players and communicating with players. But can you elaborate on what that communication is? Do you just feel like it's easy for you to deliver your points to them, or you're just able to relate to them on a certain level? What is the like communication that you feel like is really good from you that might not be like great from others?
I think this is my biggest advantage compared with other coach is I don't know, I have the sixth sense. Yeah, I have the sixth sense. When I talk with the players, I can notice he's not telling the truth or he is telling the truth. Or maybe during the scrims, he is like playing lazy. He didn't perform the real. And I will tell him, for example, if he didn't play very much attention in the games, I will say, you can play this in the scrims, but if you play it in the actual game, you will boom, like this. Yeah. And some of the players, they lack of motivation. Yeah, because every day we are doing the same stuff, right? And sometimes when I notice that they are lazy or they lack of motivation, I will take them outside the door, and there are some fresh air and trees, and I will talk to them one by one about their problem, motivate them one by one. For after these things done, the team will be like a rope. You cannot pull it. They are so tight, and everyone is doing his job. Some of the teams, not only LPL, I think in the whole, around the world, they are like playing different. They're not as a team playing, but the good teams, they are always the 5 players. If one lane is sacrificed and the other lane will be better, right?